Can you actually believe I'm doing another book review on a classic? What? Such an intellectual. So I just finished reading Picture of Dorian Gray. Oh my god, I'm so shook! If you've never heard of this book before, it's by Oscar Wilde. You may have heard of him before. He's known for this book, as well as being arrested for being homosexual, because that was illegal back in his time period, which is stupid. Anyway, The Picture of Dorian Gray follows a young man named Dorian Gray who has his portrait painted, and after it is painted, Dorian's all just like, oh my gosh, I look so beautiful and handsome, because he is obsessed with self-beauty and youth, and he's basically just like, I wish to be beautiful forever, I want to look young, I want to look handsome, and because of this, these words that he is saying, he kind of makes a deal with the devil because of this. Like, it's not intentionally, like, he is just saying this stuff, and then all of a sudden, he has eternal beauty forever. But this comes with a price, and that price is every time Dorian Gray sins, something bad happens to the portrait. It begins to grow old and wrinkled, and he looks fine. He is still beautiful. Dorian Gray, the human, looks fine. But this portrait, it is not young, it is old. It's a really interesting concept, and I did think this was a really interesting book. It wasn't as good as I hoped, but I am glad I read it because it is Oscar Wilde and he's like classic, so I'm glad I can say I've read a book by Oscar Wilde now. I do think this book isn't for everyone though, because it can drag, as well as there is some supernatural / horror stuff to this. It's not really that bad, but like, if you're not really into that stuff, then I wouldn't recommend this, but it is really interesting. Like, that concept is what grabbed my attention, and that's why I read it, and I'm glad I did. Now I'm gonna go into more detail about this book and actually discuss like what goes on in the characters. So if you haven't read this book yet, don't want to be spoiled, I will leave right now unless like you don't care. Like, do whatever you want, but I'm gonna start spoiling this book now. So first we have our main character, Dorian Gray, which, oh my gosh, he was so annoying. I did not like Dorian at all. Half the time he was annoying, and the other half he was just acting crazy, and I think I honestly would have liked Dorian if it weren't for Lord Henry. Lord Henry was the actual worst. Like, the moment he showed up in chapter 1, I was like, I ain't gonna like this dude. And that's true. I hate Lord Henry. I thought he was awful, and honestly, it's his fault that Dorian is crazy and is now dead. Like, I blame everything that happened in this book on Lord Henry because he's the worst. But deep down though, I kind of think if Lord Henry didn't exist, I still wouldn't like Dorian as much, because Dorian's obsession with his beauty and being young forever was super annoying. I hate people like that who just love their looks and looking pretty. Like, those type of people are the worst, and Dorian's one of those people, sadly. And I was just like, dude, why? I will admit, I did feel a little bad for Dorian because he did have to deal with all this guilt because of his sins, but at the same time, he honestly just should have opened up and asked for forgiveness and admitted his sins, because that's what people do. Like, just confess to people, because if you don't confess, then that's just gonna make things worse for yourself. I'm honestly still not sure whether or not Dorian got what he deserved, because I think the bigger part of me is saying yes, because he committed all these sins and what he got at the end was right, but at the same time, I'm just like, but no, I don't know how to feel. Dorian should have just like opened up to someone about his sins from what happened with Syllable, which, by the way, the whole situation with Syllable, I swear, for the longest time after it was revealed that Syllable died, I kept thinking that Dorian had something to do with it. Why? I don't know, I just felt like he did. And then there was the whole Basil situation. Oh my gosh, Basil, my baby. He was my favorite. He was the only character I liked. And then Dorian murdered him! Reading that scene where Dorian was like, oh, you want to see my soul? I'll show you my soul. And he took Basil upstairs to where the portrait was, and he revealed it, and Basil's just like, oh, what'd you do to my painting? And Dorian's just like, That's my soul. Oh, that was so annoying. But then Dorian grabbed that knife and stabbed him, and I was like, Dorian, what are you doing? Literally all Basil wanted to do was go to Paris and paint. But no, Dorian had to take that all the way. I'm so bitter about that because I think that's what made me really mad at Dorian, is making me feel like he got what he deserved, because Basil didn't deserve to die, so like, Dorian should die too. I think the way Dorian died though is what is making me feel like, oh, but is that how he deserved to die? Because Dorian, you know, he's all crazy at the end. He goes up to where the portrait is, which was stupid first off. Like, he should have just like burned it or something a long time ago. But he goes up there and he locks himself in the room. Another stupid mistake. And he finds the knife that he stabbed Basil with and destroys it. And I just knew in that moment when he decided to destroy it that he was gonna become old and then the picture was gonna become young. And that's exactly what happens. I did think for a little bit before that though that Lord Henry was gonna kill him, because like I said earlier, I think everything that happened in this book was Lord Henry's fault. Like, I swear for the longest time I thought Lord Henry was the devil himself because of all the beliefs and philosophies that Dorian was telling him. And I was just like, this is like poison almost. Lord Henry is poisoning Dorian with his words, and I hate him for that. But right in that moment when Dorian is just like, okay, I'm going to destroy this picture because this is the last evidence. If I destroy this, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna be a good man. And then he destroys it, and then all of a sudden you hear nothing, and the servants come up and they find an old man with a knife in his heart, and it's Dorian Gray. And that's where the book freaking ends. It literally ends with them finding this old man, and they realize because of the rings it's Dorian. And I was so shocked because I just couldn't believe that Oscar Wilde did that. I just can't believe so many people died, because first there was Syllable, and then there was Basil, and then there was James. Oh my gosh, this whole James situation. James really should have just killed Dorian the moment he found him, but he brought Dorian to the light because Dorian was all like, oh, bring me into the light. And he did, and James was all like, oh my gosh, you're not the man who I was looking for. And I was just like, yes he is, what are you doing? Kill him. Like, I wanted Dorian to get killed. And then that woman showed up and was like, dude, why did you kill Dorian? Like, that was Dorian. And James was like, what? And then Dorian was hunting with that random dude, and then that random dude shot a guy, and then Dorian found out that it was James. And I was like, wow, the irony. I can't believe that that guy, the random dude, shot was James. Like, out of all the people, it was James. Are you kidding me? James really should have killed Dorian in that moment. But no, he didn't, because he obviously believed a stranger man's word. Whatever, moving on. I'm just very shook by this end. Like, Oscar Wilde really did that. And I just can't believe so many people died and Lord Henry is still alive. Like, the moment I finished the book, I was like, wait a minute. Lord Henry is still alive though. I really do hate Lord Henry, and I blame him for everything that happened in this book. Like, that's how I feel. I hate him. It's all his fault. If it weren't for him, Dorian would still be his annoying self, but I might like him. But Lord Henry had to destroy him and everything else, and I hate him. But I think that's all I have to say for the Picture Dorian Gray. Overall, it caused me a lot of stress and feels, and I still don't know how to feel because, oh my gosh, that end. I can't not believe it. But I hope you all enjoyed this discussion. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'm Courtney. I'll see you all next time with a new video soon, so I will see you then. So, bye!